Oliver Hayes stood motionless on the rain-soaked rooftop, the neon lights of the city below reflecting off his weathered face. His eyes scanned the horizon, searching for something unseen. The message came suddenly, a bright holographic display illuminating the dark. Urgent. Top secret. Report immediately. His heart quickened as he descended the stairs and made his way through the crowded streets to Earth's most secure military base. Memories of his past life as a military strategist and the personal losses that haunted him flickered in his mind. He had turned to diplomacy to escape the battlefield, but fate had other plans. Inside the base, General Clark, a stern figure with a history etched in scars, awaited him. "Oliver, we have a crisis," he began without preamble. "The Naraxi Syndicate, a group of elite alien assassins, has been hired to destabilize the Galactic Federation by targeting key leaders." Oliver felt a familiar anger rise within him. The Naraxi were indirectly responsible for the deaths of his wife and daughter, casualties of a conflict they had exacerbated. "What's the plan?" he asked, his voice steady but cold. "We need you to infiltrate the syndicate and dismantle their operation from the inside," Clark said. "You'll lead a covert team equipped with the latest tech. The success of this mission is crucial." As the briefing ended, Oliver was handed a small device. "A word of caution," Clark added. "We've intercepted a message indicating a traitor within your team." Oliver boarded the ship to the Galactic Federation space station, the encrypted message weighing heavily on his mind. He met his team, a diverse group of operatives, each with unique skills. There was Lila, a sharp-witted hacker, Thrax, a burly engineer with a knack for improvisation, and Alara, a former intelligence officer with a mysterious past. Suspicion lurked beneath their interactions, but Oliver focused on the mission. Upon arrival at the station, the team was greeted by a cacophony of alien voices and the hum of interstellar commerce. The station, a sprawling complex of steel and glass, was a maze of corridors and hidden corners. The first attempt on Oliver's life came swiftly. As they navigated the crowded marketplace, a masked figure lunged at him with a blade. Oliver's reflexes kicked in, and he disarmed the assailant with practiced ease. The attacker fled, disappearing into the throng of beings. "Looks like they know we're here," Thrax grunted, scanning the crowd for more threats. "We need to stay ahead of them," Oliver replied. "Let's move." The team's initial investigation led them to the darker corners of the station. They uncovered a hidden communication network used by the Syndicate, a complex web of encrypted messages and clandestine meetings. Each discovery brought them closer to identifying the traitor and understanding the Syndicate's plans. Tension among the team grew as they delved deeper into the underworld of the station. Trust was a fragile commodity, easily shattered by the constant threat of betrayal. Oliver's leadership was tested as he navigated the fine line between suspicion and paranoia. One evening, as they analyzed intercepted messages, Oliver received another piece of the encrypted warning. The traitor will strike during the diplomatic event. The high-profile event was imminent, a gathering of the Federation's leaders and potential allies. Oliver knew they had to act quickly. The team worked tirelessly to decrypt the remaining messages and secure the area, their efforts punctuated by near-miss encounters with Syndicate operatives. The day of the event arrived, and the station buzzed with anticipation. Delegates from various species mingled, their conversations a tapestry of languages and cultures. Oliver and his team were on high alert, eyes scanning the crowd for any sign of danger. As the speeches began, Oliver's gaze fell on Alara. She stood rigid, her eyes fixed on the stage. Suddenly, she moved, her hand reaching for a concealed weapon. In an instant, Oliver was at her side, his hand gripping her wrist. "Don't do it," he whispered fiercely. "I know they have something on you, but this isn't the way." Alara's eyes met his, a mixture of fear and defiance. "I have no choice," she said, her voice barely audible over the applause. "There's always a choice," Oliver replied, his grip tightening. A tense silence hung between them before Alara finally lowered her weapon. The immediate threat was neutralized, but the Syndicate's plans were far from over. As the event concluded, Oliver received word of the true mastermind behind the syndicate, a high-ranking Federation official seeking to destabilize the government for personal gain. With this new information, Oliver and his team prepared to leave for a remote, war-torn planet, where the final confrontation awaited. Oliver's mind raced with strategies and contingencies. The mission was perilous, but he felt a renewed sense of purpose. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but he knew he wasn't alone. His team, despite their flaws and mistrust, had proven their worth. As Oliver Hayes and his team disembarked from their ship, the Galactic Federation space station loomed ahead, a sprawling metropolis of steel and glass teeming with activity. The air buzzed with the sounds of various alien languages, a cacophony that spoke of the station's diverse inhabitants. This was no ordinary assignment, and every step Oliver took reminded him of the gravity of their mission. The team moved with purpose through the crowded corridors, their eyes alert for any sign of danger. Thrax, the burly engineer, grumbled about the lack of reliable maps, while Lila, the sharp-witted hacker, kept her eyes glued to her portable device, scanning for any anomalies in the station's network. Alara, the enigmatic intelligence officer, walked in silence, her eyes constantly shifting, taking in every detail. Their first destination was a secluded part of the station, a dimly lit sector where information brokers and shady dealers thrived. Here, they hoped to find clues about the Naraxi syndicate's operations. The atmosphere was thick with suspicion, and every glance in their direction felt like a potential threat. Inside a dingy cantina, they met their contact, an alien informant with a grizzled appearance and a voice that rasped like sandpaper. He provided them with a lead on the syndicate's communication network, a web of encrypted messages hidden deep within the station's infrastructure. As they left the cantina, Oliver felt a prickling sensation at the back of his neck, a warning from years of experience. He turned just in time to see a shadowy figure aiming a weapon at him. In a split second, Oliver reacted, pushing Lila aside and drawing his own weapon. A brief but intense firefight ensued, the sounds of blaster fire echoing through the narrow alley. The assailant, realizing he was outmatched, fled into the depths of the station. Oliver and his team regrouped, their breaths heavy and adrenaline pumping. "Looks like they know we're here," Thrax said, his voice a low rumble. "We need to stay ahead of them," Oliver replied, scanning the area for any more threats. "Let's move." They continued their investigation, diving deeper into the labyrinthine station. The clues they uncovered painted a picture of a highly organized and well-funded operation. The syndicate's reach was extensive, their influence spreading through the highest echelons of the Federation. As they pieced together the puzzle, the team grew closer, their trust in each other solidifying despite the ever-present threat of betrayal. Oliver's leadership shone through as he guided them with a steady hand, balancing suspicion with camaraderie. One evening, as they pored over intercepted communications, Oliver received another piece of the encrypted warning. It revealed that the traitor within their ranks planned to strike during a high-profile diplomatic event on the station. The stakes were higher than ever, and time was running out. The day of the event arrived, and the station was abuzz with anticipation. Delegates from across the galaxy had gathered, their presence a testament to the Federation's efforts to maintain unity and peace. Oliver and his team were on high alert, their eyes constantly scanning the crowd for any sign of danger. As the speeches began, Oliver's gaze fell on Alara. She stood rigid, her eyes fixed on the stage, her hand inching toward a concealed weapon. In an instant, Oliver was at her side, his hand gripping her wrist. "Don't do it," he whispered fiercely. "I know they have something on you, but this isn't the way." Alara's eyes met his, a mixture of fear and determination. "I have no choice," she said, her voice barely audible over the applause. "There's always a choice," Oliver replied, his grip tightening. A tense silence hung between them before Alara finally lowered her weapon. The immediate threat was neutralized, but the syndicate's plans were far from over. As the event concluded, Oliver received word of the true mastermind behind the syndicate, a high-ranking Federation official seeking to destabilize the government for personal gain. With this new information, Oliver and his team prepared to leave for a remote, war-torn planet, where the final confrontation awaited. Oliver Hayes and his team touched down on the desolate planet, its harsh landscape stretching out in every direction. Jagged rocks and sparse vegetation painted a picture of desolation. The air was heavy with a sense of impending confrontation. They moved swiftly, their steps silent, each member aware of the critical nature of their mission. As they approached the syndicate's hidden base, Lila's device buzzed softly, indicating a network of security systems ahead. "I've got a lock on their defenses," she whispered. "We can bypass most of them, but there's a high-frequency disruptor we'll need to take out manually." Oliver nodded, signaling Thrax to prepare the necessary equipment. "Alara, take point. Scout the perimeter and report back." Alara melted into the shadows, her movements almost invisible against the bleak backdrop. The minutes stretched as the team waited, their focus unwavering. When she returned, her eyes were intense. "There are guards patrolling in pairs. If we time it right, we can avoid detection." With practiced efficiency, they moved in, disabling the disruptor and slipping past the guards. Inside, the base was a maze of corridors and chambers, each turn bringing them closer to their target. They could hear the hum of machinery and the distant murmur of voices, the operation running smoothly but with an underlying tension. Oliver's mind raced, evaluating their options. They had to find the central command room where the mastermind operated. Every step was a calculated risk, every shadow a potential threat. The team's cohesion and trust were their greatest assets, forged through shared experiences and battles. As they navigated the labyrinth, they stumbled upon a chamber filled with monitors displaying various parts of the station. It was a control room of sorts, but not the one they were searching for. Thrax quickly accessed the terminal, downloading schematics and critical data. "This should help us pinpoint the command center," he said. Moving deeper into the complex, they encountered heavier resistance. A skirmish broke out as a group of syndicate operatives spotted them. Blaster fire filled the air, and the team responded with precision. Oliver's leadership was evident as he directed their movements, each member playing their part flawlessly. Lila's hacking skills proved invaluable as she disabled security systems and diverted enemy reinforcements. Thrax's brute strength and engineering expertise cleared obstacles and provided much-needed muscle during close combat. Alara's intelligence and sharp instincts kept them one step ahead, predicting enemy movements and setting traps. They finally reached the heart of the base, a heavily fortified chamber where the mastermind conducted operations. The air here was thick with anticipation. Oliver motioned for silence as they approached the entrance. Through the reinforced glass, they could see the mastermind, a high-ranking Federation official turned traitor, surrounded by advanced technology and communication devices. Oliver's eyes narrowed as he formulated a plan. "We need to take him alive. He has information that could dismantle the entire syndicate network," he whispered. The team nodded, understanding the gravity of their objective. In a swift and coordinated assault, they breached the chamber. The mastermind, caught off guard, scrambled to activate security measures, but Lila had already anticipated this and neutralized his attempts. Thrax and Alara subdued the remaining guards while Oliver confronted the traitor. "Why betray the Federation?" Oliver demanded, his voice cold and controlled. The mastermind smirked, arrogance evident in his demeanor. "Power, influence. The Federation is weak, and I intended to reshape it." Oliver's fist tightened around his weapon, but he restrained himself. "Your plans end here." As they secured the mastermind and prepared to extract him, alarms blared throughout the base. Reinforcements were arriving, and their window for escape was closing fast. Oliver's mind raced, devising an exit strategy. They had the information they needed, but getting out alive was now the priority. Thrax set charges on the main support beams. "We need a distraction," Oliver ordered. "Lila, prepare an extraction point. Alara, cover our retreat." The team executed the plan with precision. Explosions rocked the base, causing chaos and confusion among the syndicate forces. Using the diversion, they moved swiftly towards the extraction point. Blaster fire followed them, but they pressed on, determined to complete their mission. As they reached the rendezvous, Oliver glanced back at the collapsing base. They had struck a significant blow against the syndicate, but the fight was far from over. The mastermind's capture was a turning point, but the journey ahead was still fraught with challenges. Their ship lifted off, leaving the desolate planet behind. Oliver allowed himself a moment of reflection. The mission had been perilous, and their success came at great risk. Yet, with each step forward, they moved closer to a safer, more stable Federation. The ship's engines thrummed steadily as Oliver Hayes and his team approached the heavily fortified prison planet. Their captive, the mastermind behind the Naraxi syndicate, sat restrained and silent, his eyes filled with contempt. The team had successfully dismantled the syndicate's base, but their mission wasn't over. They needed the mastermind alive to extract information that could unravel the entire network of corruption within the Federation. As they landed, the stark, inhospitable environment greeted them. The prison complex loomed ahead, a fortress of steel and concrete. Guards armed with advanced weaponry patrolled the perimeter, ensuring no unauthorized entry or exit. Oliver led his team forward, each member alert and prepared for any surprises. Inside the prison, they were met by Commander Drayton, a stern figure with a no-nonsense demeanor. "We've secured a high-level interrogation room for your use," he informed them. "You'll have all the resources you need." They escorted the mastermind to the interrogation chamber, a sterile room with minimal furnishings. The walls were lined with sophisticated equipment designed to extract information without causing physical harm. Oliver's team took their positions, each playing a crucial role in the upcoming session. Oliver stepped forward, his eyes fixed on the mastermind. "You have a choice," he began, his voice calm but firm. "Cooperate, and this can end peacefully. Resist, and it will only make things harder for you." The mastermind sneered, leaning back in his chair. "You think you can break me? I've faced far worse than this." Ignoring the provocation, Oliver signaled Lila to start the interrogation. She activated the equipment, and the room hummed with activity as data streams illuminated the walls. Alara monitored the mastermind's vital signs, ensuring he remained conscious and coherent throughout the process. As the questioning began, the mastermind's bravado slowly eroded. Oliver's strategic questioning, combined with Lila's technical prowess, began to unravel the layers of deception. Each answer revealed more about the syndicate's operations, exposing key players and hidden agendas. The breakthrough came when the mastermind, exhausted and defeated, revealed a critical piece of information: a secure communication hub used by the syndicate to coordinate their activities. Located deep within Federation territory, it was a nerve center that, if taken down, would cripple the syndicate's operations. With this new intelligence, the team swiftly planned their next move. They couldn't afford to waste any time. Leaving the mastermind in the capable hands of Commander Drayton, they prepared to strike the communication hub. Their journey took them to a remote part of the Federation, a sector known for its treacherous terrain and hostile wildlife. The hub was hidden within a dense forest, shielded from detection by advanced cloaking technology. As they approached, Oliver's mind raced with strategies and contingencies. They needed to act swiftly and decisively. Under the cover of night, they infiltrated the forest, using stealth and precision to avoid patrols and automated defenses. The closer they got, the more intense the resistance became. The syndicate's forces were well-trained and heavily armed, but Oliver's team was determined. They reached the hub's entrance, a heavily guarded bunker. Thrax set charges to breach the outer defenses while Lila hacked into the security systems to disable alarms and surveillance. Alara provided cover, her sharp eyes and quick reflexes neutralizing threats before they could alert reinforcements. The explosion was controlled but powerful, opening a path into the bunker. The team moved in swiftly, engaging syndicate operatives in a fierce firefight. The corridors echoed with the sounds of conflict as blaster fire lit up the darkness. Inside the control room, Oliver confronted the hub's commander, a ruthless operative with a reputation for brutality. The two clashed in a brutal hand-to-hand combat, each strike calculated and precise. Oliver's military training and determination gave him the edge, and he eventually subdued his opponent, securing the hub's command center. With the control room under their command, Lila accessed the mainframe, downloading critical data and shutting down the hub's communication network. The syndicate's operations were thrown into disarray, their coordination shattered. As they prepared to leave, Thrax discovered a hidden compartment containing documents and encrypted files. These files held the key to dismantling the remaining elements of the syndicate, providing leads on their financiers and allies within the Federation. Returning to their ship, Oliver and his team reflected on their success. They had struck a decisive blow against the syndicate, but the battle for the Federation's future was far from over. Each member of the team felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing they had made a significant impact. Back on the Galactic Federation space station, the captured data was handed over to the authorities, leading to a series of arrests and purges within the Federation. The mastermind's information had been invaluable, setting the stage for a new era of transparency and justice.